You know, around this time of year, Colin, we do a lot of talk about who's at off-season activities and who's not there. Typically, the quarterbacks attend. Well, Lamar Jackson, for the last several years, has kind of been a no-show, but as many people noticed a couple months ago, they fired their coach. So things changed. The new offensive coordinator made it pretty clear, Lamar, we need you here. And credit to Lamar, he's given up $1.5 million the last 2 years, missing these OTAs. He's not giving up that money this year, Colin. He attended today.
Yeah, and I think with a new staff, I remember criticizing Aaron Rodgers. It's like when you have a new staff and you're in a new place, you got to show up. He's not in a new place, but with a new staff, Jesse Minter, who could actually be great. But John Harbaugh, I mean, you're talking like NFL, nuts and bolts. It's like Andy Reid. I can miss a camp with John Harbaugh. I think it's important for him this year, maybe not next year, but this year to be there.
I think the Ravens and the Bills, I mean, when it's all said and done, will pay Josh and Lamar probably combined $1 billion.
Right.
These guys are in their late 20s, early 30s over the next course of this year and the next couple of years. It's pretty important to get it done because if not now, more than likely, especially Lamar, the way he plays, it's hard to see him winning a Super Bowl when he's like 38.
Right.
You know, now's the time. Get Jesse Minter. I think the Ravens bounce back. I think they're going to be pretty frisky. Let's go to your guy.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there. Putting Harbaugh on the same tier as Reid when it comes to the technical details and fundamentals? No. There's a reason the Ravens have been so wildly undisciplined. And every time they've faced certain kinds of defensive adversity, your guy Harbaugh didn't necessarily have the solution. I'm not going to go on a full rant about that right now. But anyway, you know I made that first things first clip about Lamar and how much I believe it's great that he's showing up to OTAs and all of that. And what I love being able to do, since I enjoy reading the comments and seeing what people say, it's so helpful because I can make that video, read the reactions, and they literally tell me in real time what people are thinking. Then I can make another video and address those points, talk about the conversations happening there. A lot of people were upset, especially because of what Mangini said. Mangini pretty much came out and said he doesn't like that Lamar is now showing up. It was an interesting take. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but I ripped it and said Mangini is straight up wrong there. But then a lot of people pointed out that when Todd Monken was there, when there was a new system, Lamar showed up. Essentially, when there's a new offensive system, he shows up. When there isn't, he doesn't. And I think that's all fair. I know a lot of Ravens fans and a lot of Lamar supporters are upset because they feel some of the conversat. Ion around Lamar and this team is unfair. And I get that. I discussed that more in the other video. But I'll just say this, when you've achieved as much as Lamar has individually, and the Ravens as a whole, and I don't mean the franchise historically, but with Lamar, these are the things people are going to focus on when you don't win at all. That's just what happens. You're going to be in a situation where people want to talk about the Ravens. They're a popular team. Lamar is elite, special, so people want to talk about him. And so here we are, just asking, well, what are the things that need to happen? What are the necessary steps? That was the off-season conversation. What's Lamar going to do here? What message does it send if he shows up versus if he doesn't? All of that stuff. And it's just part of the package. It really is. If we were having these conversations about Lamar after he'd won the Super Bowl in 2023 or something, then I could say, okay, what are we even doing here? But the reality is that you came up short. The Ravens have come up short. So there's just this greater emphasis on, what are all the little things they need to do? What are the big things? What does Lamar have to do, if anything? What does the coaching staff have to do? How do we get there? How do we reach the promised land? How do we win the Super Bowl? Why do the Chiefs win year after year, but the Ravens don't? You could just go on and on. And again, the Bills get the same kind of criticism. Ironically, I'd say the Bills, the Ravens, and the Eagles actually won the Super Bowl and have been to multiple Super Bowls. They get a level of scrutiny that you don't see with other teams. Think about the Rams. They came up short. They were everyone's favorite to win it all. People had to bite their tongues and say, all right, I guess the Seahawks are good. A lot of people were saying Stafford is the MVP, not Drake May, blah blah blah. They came up short. They lost. And yet, were there endless conversations about McVay failing? About how he always underestimates the importance of special teams? There was none of that conversation. Matthew Stafford couldn't get it done on 3rd and 4th downs in the NFC Championship game. They messed things up in the regular season, didn't lock up the 1 seed. But there was none of that conversation week after week, day after day. We didn't see that. But we see it with the Bills. We see it with the Ravens. And we see it with the Eagles. Look, there are other teams that don't get this treatment, but that's because people don't care about those teams as much. People don't care about those quarterbacks as much. The 49ers are wildly popular. They have a massive fan base, one of the biggest. It's definitely Dallas at number 1, but the 49ers might be number 2, or they're certainly up there. They're huge. They've got the history, all the good stuff. They've got the great coach, all of that. But the quarterback doesn't move the needle in terms of divisiveness. Don't get me wrong, people love to talk about Brock Purdy and love to have those back and forth conversations. But it's not like Lamar. It's not like Josh Allen. It's not like Jalen. And I will say that a lot of these fan bases, because I make the videos and read the comments, they all very much believe that they get a level of media scrutiny that no one else has. That's what I was reading in the comments. Why is no one else talking about this for this other team? Why do they only do this about Lamar? And I'm like, are you seeing the conversations they're having about Jalen? And yeah, you had someone like me defend Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills last season, but they got absolutely ripped. Specifically Josh. They got made fun of for crying, and all of that. So at this point, there's more talk about the Ravens right now than about the Kansas City Chiefs genuinely being a team that just wasn't good enough last season. They just were not good. Now again, the Chiefs deserve the benefit of the doubt. They've won, all that stuff. And to a large degree, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen also deserve the benefit of the doubt. They deserve to be allowed to fail without being expected to be perfect in every single moment. But when you get to this part of the discussion, where it's truly just a decision, are you going to show up or are you not? There's nothing else there. You don't have to worry about the other team's defense. You don't have to worry about the pressure of the moment. You don't have to worry about, well, my shoulders hurt and my knees hurt. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's just, are you going to show up? It's a clear, grounded, conscious decision made in a non-emotional state of mind. So it's simply, are you going to show up? Are you going to be there? I always talk about this, you're going to get into fights with your friends, your family, your parents, whatever. And when you're emotional, when you're all fired up, you probably say mean things. I hate you. You're the worst person I've ever met. All of that. Those things are going to happen. You're going to say those things. People are going to say those things to you. But it's what you say when you're not emotionally hijacked, when you're not emotional, when you're grounded, that's when the words really matter. That's when actions matter more to me. Because I can give you the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, we were all emotional. Our minds got the best of us in that moment. But now that I can see clearly, now that I'm not all fired up, my heart's not racing a million miles an hour, this is how I feel. This is how I'm going to communicate. This is how we're going to talk. So that's why I do look at moments like this with Lamar and just think, check the boxes. Do the right things. And again, he is doing the right things. So yeah, I mean, it's just that Colin is super Harbaugh-centric when it comes to tea. He Ravens. He's definitely been more pro-Harbaugh than the Ravens organization itself. And yeah, it's interesting. I love the Jesse Minter hire for the Ravens. I do believe in Lamar Jackson to an insanely high degree. But again, they really are the textbook example, truly the textbook example, of just show me what you do in the playoffs. I mean, they could be undefeated. Lamar Jackson could be averaging 400 yards a game. And it'll still be, yeah, but you've got to show me in the playoffs. You've got to show me. And that hangs over the Ravens more so than any other team. More than the Bills, more than the Bengals, more than the Eagles, more than the 49ers, more than the Seahawks. I could name every single team. It's just, show me what you do. It's a tie game. It's the fourth quarter. There are 5 minutes to go. Show me what you've got. Show me what you do. And when that's what it all comes down to ultimately with the Ravens, then yeah, the conversations from now until that point are going to be all over the place. They're going to be very scattered. And it's going to be things like, how many pull-ups did Lamar Jackson do at OTAs? Right? It's going to be, well, what little random soundbite did we hear from Jesse Minter when he addressed the team? Is it something that makes us say, now that's a head coach? Or can we make fun of him for using some cheesy metaphor about plants? That's what you're looking for in this moment of time. And so, I see so many people in the comment section just saying, why are we even talking about this? What is going on? And it's just where we're at. It's where we've landed with the Ravens. And in a lot of ways, it's because of so much of what they've been able to achieve, how great their quarterback is, but they haven't been able to quite get it done. They haven't been able to quite close the deal. And again, you can point to other teams, like the Bills. Josh Allen gets plenty of criticism. You can point to the Bengals. Nobody really cares about the Bengals. They just don't. Because we can use the main four: Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow. There are a million more fans, a million times more fans, of the Baltimore Ravens than there are of the Cincinnati Bengals. Plus, everyone is asking, is Joe Burrow going to be healthy? Do we trust that the Bengals can even remotely build a competent team? Can their defense be competent? Can their O-line be competent? Can they do anything that puts them in a position to win? And you're just like, I don't know. So you're just like, how can you even talk about the Bengals right now? Who wants to say, I think the Bengals have a lot of momentum going right now? Who can feel confident in any of those kinds of statements? You can't. But you can about the Ravens. So it goes right back square onto the shoulders of the Baltimore Ravens, and therefore onto their absolute bona fide superstar quarterback, Lamar Jackson. So I'd encourage the Lamar fans and the Ravens fans not to get too upset about some of the conversations that happen. I know it feels unfair. I know it feels a little all over the place. And like I said, I see those quarterbacks get some of the most fascinating coverage compared to others. But I don't think there's any specific negative intent behind it. And all things considered, I think it makes a lot of sense. It would be worse if everybody talked about will Lamar be at OTAs? What's he going to do, blah blah blah, and then he shows up and they don't have a discussion about it, and they don't say, oh look, he did this. This is great. Credit to Lamar. That would then be, oh, so you only wanted to criticize Harbaugh? But that's not the case. That's not the case. But Colin doesn't believe in the Baltimore Ravens at this moment in time. John Middlecoff does, and he believes in the Giants. So again, Colin thinks that Harbaugh held this Ravens team together. And I'm not so sure that was the case. So I'm excited to see what this new-look Baltimore Ravens team looks like. And I'm excited to see if Lamar Jackson can take his game to the next level, and therefore this Ravens team can just take it to the next level. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Ravens and the conversation around OTAs and all of that type of stuff? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.